Hi guys, Puddin here with a review or my thoughts on the Hood, which is a Tier 7 British premium battleship. I'm sure we're all well aware of her infamous history. But is she worth the buy? In all honesty, only you can answer that question for yourself. But I can go over my thoughts, my feelings, and I can show you some gameplay so you can make a better informed decision. Now, as we can see, she's at a tier 7. I don't have a full captain, but she gets 67,700 health and an armor protection of 18%. It's not the best, but most tier 7s don't have the best torpedo belt there is anyways. For artillery, you get 4 turrets with 2 guns a piece, which are 381 millimeters. They're 1 millimeter bigger than the Bismarcks. Secondaries, you get 7x2 102 millimeter dual purpose guns. Main battery firing range is 18.6 kilometers. I do believe you get to fire every 30 seconds, depending on what skills you get, because obviously if you get adrenaline rush, you can get that down, but you will have to take a lot of health for that. Maximum HE damage is 5,300 or 53,000. I'm sorry. No, yeah, that is 5,300. I apologize. With a fire chance of 34% there. Your turrets turn 31 seconds. That's not too bad. Giving us a battleship, it is battleship rotation. Your dispersion at max range is 242 millimeters. Once again, it's battleship dispersion. So if you play a lot of battleships, you're going to be used to that to begin with. Your AP max damage is 11,400, and both your AP and HE travel at 731 meters per second. Now, this is what sets this ship apart, is it's a defense. And I will go off after that in a little bit more detail when I talk about captain skills and the upgrades that you do or can put on this ship. You get 4 of these 4x400 12.7 millimeter anti-air. These are short range at 1.4 kilometers. That is without advanced fire training. Do not have advanced fire training on this captain yet. You get 3 of these 3x8 40 millimeter. That is your mid range, and that shoots out to 3 kilometers. Then here are the 7x2 102 millimeter dual purpose guns, which shoot out to 6 kilometers. But this right here is what separates her apart from anyone else. These 5x20 178 millimeter rockets. Now, these only shoot out to 1.8 kilometers, but as you can see, they do 50 damage per rocket. Now, that is the thing that really separates her apart from anyone else at this tier, and I'll get into that a little bit later. Maneuverability, she does 32 knots. Fairly quick for a battleship. I think the only other battleship that does that speed without any flags is the Iowa and Montana. So she is relatively quick. If I'm wrong, I'm sure I'm going to be corrected in the comments. She has a turning circle radius of 910 meters, rudder shift time of 13.4. But once again, if you play battleships, you'll be used to that. And concealment, not too bad at 13.5 by sea and 11.9 by air. Now, modules. These are the modules I go with. Your battleship, your bread and butter is your main gun, so main battery modifications 1. Now, I strongly and highly recommend you go with AA modifications 2. Because when you see what consumable you can get, which is really the defensive fire, that is where those rockets really come into play. That really increases the damage to where you just wipe out planes that are coming at you. Even tier 8 planes, even the saipan planes, which you are going to see, which are T9 planes, you will just obliterate them if they get in with that AA range, which is why if you are going to put a dedicated captain in her, I would go with advanced fire training and manual fire AA. Do DAMCOM 1, DAMCOM 2, but you can switch out for steering gears if you're not quick on that rudder, and that will knock that down and help you get that rudder turning a little bit more. But your battleship, you burn. I don't like to burn, so I want to get that down as fast as possible. Now this is what sets the ship apart. It is a defensive AA fire that is active for 60 seconds. It has a cooldown of 120 seconds, I believe. Of course, this is the premium. You should always use the premium, and if you're using premium ships, all it does is knock down 40 seconds for the reload time. It's still active as long. You do pick up 1 extra charge, and and as you can see by my captain here, I do not have superintendent. Now, the reason I have directional control is because I am training this guy up for when British battleships do come out. He does go in the Warspite also. Expert marksman, because like I said, this guy does spend some time in the Warspite, but it's not bad to have here too. Basics of survivability, like I said, I just don't like the burn concealment, just because getting in a little bit closer really does help out. My next perk that I'm saving for is going to be advanced fire training. Then I'm probably going to get possibly vigilance or basic fire training. I'm not too sure how I'm going to finish out this captain, because we really don't know too much about the British battleships, so I want to keep my options open. But like I said, you do get this fantastic defensive AA fire, which I do believe is on par with the U.S. cruisers, obviously. As you can see, it is active for an extra 20 seconds longer than on my Indianapolis. Let's see my Sims. Yes, so it is active for a very long time, but you really do need to spec into AA to really hamper the enemy aircraft. But even without, I still eat up a lot of planes. But you really are going to benefit from advanced fire training for this. The secondaries, which I didn't go over, and I apologize. There's, I'm not really running a secondary build on here. As you can see, they only shoot out to 5 kilometers. I do believe they all shoot HE. So there is that. Now we're going to go over some gameplay and let you guys see how this ship is in action. I apologize, guys. I forgot to do the armor layout for you prior to recording of the gameplay. So here is the full armor view, and as you can see, you know, the superstructure is what the superstructure is, but your armor belt is 127 millimeters and 178. It goes between the two. Your I don't know what these tunnels are called, so your tunnels and your turrets are at 305. You got some armor on the superstructure, which is at 172. And here is the bow at 25 millimeters. Now, you will not stop 16-inch shells, so you need to be careful of Colorado's, North Carolina's, and what is the Amagi. Oh, I have to go to the tech tree because I don't own her anymore. Apologize for this, guys. Fuso Nagato Amagi. So I do believe you have to be careful of Amagis also. What are 16-inch shells? No. Yes, so you do need to be careful of Amagis. I apologize for this going around. I don't know some of my gun calibers off the top of my head, but if you do go directly bow on, they will go right through you and they will do a lot of damage. But if you do angle a little bit, you will get a lot of bounces, which is why I kind of recommend don't go in like that. Go in like this, a little 5 or 10 degree, and you will get a lot of bounces even from the 16 inches. So you can see you got 4 armor, which is 127, 152. There's another 127 millimeter plate. Now we're going to look at the citadel armor. Now I'm leaving the gun armor on because really what you should be aiming for is underneath the turrets, because you can see this citadel for the most part is completely sitting underwater and is a right pain in the butt to hit. As you can see with the armor belt back on, there's a very small section that is above water, to where if you can actually hit under the turrets, you'll be better off than trying to hit the boiler. There is without the guns. So if you are in a ship with good penetration, aim for under the guns, the rear guns, the front guns. Try not to aim center mass. The only time I believe citadel is when an Iowa hit me when I was turning, and it hit me very, very, very hard. But like I said, well, unfortunately, like I said, I did this video, this section after the gameplay. You will very rarely see tier 9s. It is still possible, while you are more likely to see North Carolinas, Alabamas, and Amagis. Bismarcks, I really don't seem to take citadel damage from them, to where I just get the penetrating damage if I do show them side, or if I get close enough with within their secondaries, which is a very bad idea. And now, guys, one other thing. I do believe I finally did get the camo. Yes, I did. Now, this is the camo that comes with the ship. As you can see, -3, -4, plus 50%, which I believe is the same as the 25,000 camo. I don't even know where that camo is in here, to be honest with you guys. As you can see, I have so many camos, it's kind of not even funny anymore. So there is no need for the camo for any of the camos you have to pay for. Let's turn the armor layout off so you can see what these camos look like. So you do get your choices between two camos. You know what? You just go with whatever you prefer, because unlike the Bismarcks, and I'm going to let you in on this one, if you have the premium camo for the Bismarck, just stick with it, because you do not get the bonus you do with the premium, as in you get the 10% reduction to your post-battle servicing cost with the two camos you get from completing the campaign. If you do not have the premium camo, slap on one of these two, and that will save you some credits there. And now for the gameplay I did promise you. Alright guys, as you can see here, we are in a tier 7 heavy game. Now, like I said, this is mainly not going to be about the gameplay, more about my impressions, my thoughts, my feelings about this ship. Now, the nice thing about the Hood is it is a tier 7. With the exception of course, right now with the Hood being released, there are a lot of tier 8s, mainly Bismarcks, playing because of the whole Bismarck Hood that happened in real life. But usually for tier 7s, you get into tier 7 heavy games where you are top tier. So you kind of have to keep that thought in mind when you do get this. Now, as you saw with the armor profile, you don't really want to stay directly bow on. You do want to still be at somewhat of an angle, like a 5 or 10 degree angle to them. Because while I have found in most cases, I have really not gotten citadeled. I've been hit extremely hard when I've been broadside. I really haven't gotten citadeled, but 16-inch shells can go right through that bow, which means Colorado's, North Carolina's, Iowa's, if you get unfortunate to get in a tier 9 game, which has happened to me once. I'm not sure about the Amagi's caliber. I forget off the top of my head. But with a lot of Bismarcks and Hoods and tier 7s sitting in queue, Scharnhorst also, they really don't have the oomph to get through the bow. So you can get a lot of nice deflections. Now, I myself find when going up against a Hood, the best thing to do is treat it like a German battleship. Just hit the upper hull, or if you are aiming at distance, try to aim for plunging fire or into the superstructure. Now, as you can see, most of us are posting up on the north side of the map, while a few brave souls go to the south. I am a battleship after all, even though historically this was a battle cruiser, so I'm mainly going to try to focus on cruisers. Now, this ship can take a punishment when played correctly. Now, if you are a battleship player and you are good in battleships, you will do fine in this ship. See the enemy, Scharnhorst here, and I'm kind of holding my shot a little bit to see which way this gentleman wants to turn before I do send my shots down range. But I am constantly paying attention to where the cruisers are and seeing if there is a better shot for me. I do believe this AP is on a shorter fuse time. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, which is why I've mainly been going for cruisers, because I just seem not to get the citadels on enemy battleships. But like I said, for the most part, I'm going up against Bismarck's, Hoods, Scharnhorsts. There's a few Fusos, Amagis, Negados, Colorados, New Mexicos, Alabamas that have been sprinkled in the matchmaker, but it's pretty much been British versus German. Especially with the whole hunt, the Bismarck campaign going on. Now I am cutting my speed. I am going to start slowing down, because you can see there is a smoke cloud and there is an awful lot of enemy ships over there, and I have pushed out a little bit too far. Now with nothing really to shoot at but the Fuso, I'm really paying attention to see if anything comes out of that smoke cloud. I'm paying attention to my mini-map at this time as I hit my first heal. Don't really want to go after the Hood because he's not giving me a good target. And I do believe the Fuso is running away. And that's what I was waiting for, is one of the cruisers to get out of the smoke, showing me broadside. But unfortunate for me, and good play by the cruiser, he did turn out, which meant most of my shells fell short. Now, the reason I'm not shooting here is because there's a smoke cloud. It's shooting me with high explosives, so I'm waiting for the inevitable torpedoes to be coming. I'm also trying to get undetected, because as you can see, there's really no ships that can't see me. So I'm really worried about this destroyer. Now the fire is about to go out. I have an ally moving up with me. So I'm just going to kind of go and turn in hopes that the destroyer dropped all of his torpedoes for me to be going in reverse, as they take a shot in on this lovely Russian cruiser, and all of my shots went over the gentleman. I believe cut his speed, turned in, so all of my shots just went flying over. And here are all those torpedoes I was worried about. And what do you know? Somebody's using widespread and nails me right in a torpedo bulge and gets a flood. I have to immediately put that out. Notice that the cruiser is not going fast, so I'm going to send all of my shots aimed just a little bit in front of him. As all of these come down and do a nice 12,000 damage with a citadel. Now, with the amount of torpedoes that came, I figured it is the Kamikaze R that's over here. And because somebody used widespread, I had a torpedo. I don't agree with the use of widespread, but the guy got lucky and got a torp on me. Now at this point, as you can see, I've had to use two of, I believe I have 4 heals. I'm not 100% sure. I forgot. I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comments. So I still have a lot of my health. And, you know, I've taken a lot of, damage. I've had a lot of shots coming at me. But luckily for me, I still have a significant amount of my health. Now, while this game was going on, I was also doing the campaign mission to shoot and kill 4 enemy cruisers and two cruisers while in the hood, which is why you see me holding my shot a lot, waiting to see a cruiser that's sitting broadside that I potentially can finish off or outright nuke. I believe at the start of this game I was one away, and while I was doing a lot of damage to the cruisers, I was leaving them on extremely low health, which meant somebody else would finish them off. But as you saw by my shooting, these guns are fairly accurate. No matter what was said prior, I'm sure these guns might have changed a little bit, but these guns are fairly accurate. They do hit extremely hard as I get a nice citadel on a cruiser. The other thing I have that has happened to me is I feel I get most of my citadels on cruisers at range or with the plunging fire. It seems the closer I get, the less citadels I do seem to get on them. It could be because I just haven't learned the ship, or it could just be that with the short fuse timer, they are exploding prior to it hitting the citadel, which doesn't make sense to me. So I'm just going to go with I haven't properly learned the ship, because at the time of this recording, I believe I only had 12 or 14 games in this ship. While they may not seem like a lot, it is enough for me to understand the ship a little bit, and that's what I mean by these guns are fairly accurate. It's 12 kilometers, medium range, did a nice chunk of damage into the Sharon horse, right into the superstructure and the deck. See the enemy cruiser, I'm going to give him plenty of lead because I know these British ships start up wickedly fast. So I'm going to treat it as in he was always going. But as you can see at the very last second before he disappeared, he was turning out. Now here I'm debating whether or not to shoot Cap or to shoot the Grass Bay. Luckily, the decision was made for me. One, the Graspy is showing me broadside to the Shine Horse I was going to shoot. Disappeared. And here comes all of these lovely shells as they do a nice 8,000. And that's what I mean by it. Just for me, I seem to get more citadels at range than I do at close range with these. But that's still a respectable amount of damage. Now, luckily for me, these guys don't know exactly where to shoot. They are trying to, I believe, punch into my citadel. But I was moving forward as I do a nice 15,000 as the friendly DD finishes him off and I get a Confederate. Now I'm going to turn to get all of my guns to bear, and the other thing is you can notice these have fairly good gun arcs. I can maintain an angle to this guy, not showing him full broadside, and get all of my guns to bear on him as I do another nice 12,000 damage. Now the ship is a fairly good brawler, but with what the meta is right now, I don't recommend getting in with Bismarck's secondary range or Sharon Horse's torpedoes. I don't recommend that actually ever. But if it is a non-German ship or a for the most part a ship without torpedoes, don't be afraid to get in there and mix it up. Luckily for me, the Fiji, I always get the Fujin and Fiji names mixed up. I know they're completely different ships, but hey, that's me. Blue has smoke early. Now I do know I am within his torpedo range. I don't want to eat torpedoes. This thing does not have the best torpedo bulge in the game. And I really don't want to take a flood because I don't have any heals left. And I also want to maintain an angle so most of his AP does not damage me. It doesn't do a significant amount of damage, but I need to kind of get this guy spotted, which is why I'm turning in a little bit to hopefully get the spot on this guy. Somebody finally does get the spot. This guy unfortunately is backing up and showing me full broadside, which means he's going to start going forward. 2 citadels, devastating strike, and there I go, contradicting what I said about not getting citadels at close range. But that gentleman was full broadside, nice flat surface to hit. If there's any sort of angle is when I seem to have a problem. Even a 2 or 3 degree angle, to me, I'm just not getting the citadels. Now I see the enemy HUD. I'm kind of holding my shot, hoping that this gentleman gives us some sort of side. Because if we can finish this guy off, there is still a small chance for us to win the game. As you can see, I got 4 citadels, 2 ships sank, devastating strike, Confederate, and 117,000 damage. Don't know what my potential damage is right now because I forgot to look prior to recording this, but we were definitely going to see that in the post-battle results. The other thing is I'm really not going to go over too heavily in the post-battle results about my statistics and how well I did. I'm just going to give a final thought and overview of this ship. I will be showing my post-battle results. But I took a shot at the Scharnhorst because he was showing me a broadside while the Hood was not at the time, waiting for my guns to reload, and unfortunately the enemy Hood disappears. The other thing prior to all this, if you were paying attention to the kill feed and minimap, the Belfast lost a fight to the Grass Bay, and the Belfast got torpedoed. The enemy Grass Bay has done an excellent job staying alive on extremely low health and recognizing the situation of he needs to run away and just stay alive. See the enemy Scharnhorst. I need to get as much damage in on this guy as possible for once again. We need to kill 2 of their ships to potentially win this game. As I do a mere 2,000 damage and destroy some AA. If only there was a CV in the game. Now what I should have done was potentially switch to HE at this time and try to get more fires on this guy instead of continually hitting him with AP, but I do take a nice 7,000 damage out of him. And the reason I say maybe I should have switched to HE was to get the damage over time to help out the friendly cruiser to where he could potentially get another fire on this guy. This guy's obviously not showing the side here, but I need to take a shot in on him. I believe the Sharn is playing it smart, waiting for my shots to come in before he makes his turn to get behind the island and stay protected as I do 3,000. Now, the enemy Hood in front of me put those right into the superstructure. It was a correct play by him. But this ship can get up there and brawl. Was going to take a shot in at the Sharn, but I knew my shells were going to hit the island, so I figured there was no chance, which means I have to deal with a Hood who's on near full health, who probably sat in the back and let other teammates do the heavy lifting. But as you can see by staying directly bow on, he was able to get some nice shots in through the deck. I'm assuming into me for some decent penetrating shots, is I really need to turn to show this gentleman some side. I need to get all of my guns into play. They do a nice 9,000 to him. But I do need to maintain some angle. This guy's playing it correctly. He's just shooting into the upper hull and the superstructure just to get guaranteed damage. Unfortunately, as you guys can see by the timer, we are not going to win this. I am not going to survive. These will be my final shots. These shots will not finish me. The Grasp will do that as I get a high caliber. Oh no, it was the Hood. So now the post-battle results. 160,000 damage. Confederate devastating strike, high caliber. 2 ships sank. Number 1 on the team. Only 2 other people did better than me, and they were on the winning team. So you can only imagine if we won. Shocked and as appalled as you. Premium ship made money. But here we go. When people say that this ship cannot take damage, almost a 2 million potential damage. And when it comes to accuracy, 160,000 damage coming from main batteries. Now, only you can answer yourself if you should buy this ship and when you should buy this. I hope this video helped you make an informed decision. Of course, I showed my best game in it, but I was averaging around 60 to 80 damage per game. Not all of them are losses, but of course not all of them were wins. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. We do appreciate the replays you guys sent in. Please keep sending them in. Email is in the description. Please remember to compliment good players, good teamwork. We are quick to report, slow to compliment. And please hit that like and subscribe button and have yourselves a great day.